creamy and decadent Instant Pot pumpkin cheesecake is an easy recipe made with pumpkin spice, pumpkin puree, and a homemade graham cracker crust that pops right out of your springform pan. I'll teach you how, so stick around. Aloha mai kako, my name is Relle and welcome to my kitchen where I like to share all my favorite Hawaiian and local recipes. It's fall, so that means we're gonna be doing some holiday baking, and today we'll be making some Instant Pot pumpkin cheesecake. Now, if you've ever made cheesecake in the Instant Pot, it's so easy, so fast, and so yummy. And of course, we're gonna do a fall twist today and make a pumpkin one. So come along, let's get started. First, we're gonna make the crust, and you're gonna need some graham crackers. You'll need about 8, which is 1 shy of the full bag, which I feel like that's such a waste. Maybe we should just squeeze the other one in. But anyway, I took one out. You could eat it as a snack, I guess. So if you've got a food processor, that's how you should do it. You could totally do it into a zip top bag and smush it, but this gets it super fine. So if we just break it up like that, all but one, right? All but one. There's 9, I believe, in the bag. You can correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure there's 9 because I took one off. Anyway, you need 8 of them. We'll start with that, and you're just gonna put the top on the correct way because you can't lock it the wrong way. And then I always cover it because it makes a little bit of dust. It's kind of light, sorry. But you're gonna blend this until it's like fine crumbs. And if it gets stuck, you can just help it along. And then you're gonna wanna add some sugar. You can just pour that down into the chute. And then when you got that fine crumb like that, the butter, pour that straight into the chute too. If it touches the side, that's okay. I just pour the whole thing in. You can take it off. If yours doesn't have a chute like that, just take it off. It's totally fine. And then it's gonna start to look like wet sand. And you're gonna wanna mix it until everything is well combined. You'll start to see it crumple up on the side. When it starts to stick like that, you're almost there. Whew. I just like to knock it down one time and then give it one more go, just to make sure the butter is evenly dispersed through. All right, I've got a 6-quart Instant Pot. This is a 7-inch springform pan. I wouldn't go bigger than this because you'll have a hard time setting it down into the pot. 6-inch works fine. This recipe is for a 7-inch cheesecake. You can also do it in the 6-inch. It'll just be a little bit taller. You might have to extend the cook time a little bit if you do. And if you have the 8-quart, this 7-inch will easily fit, so no problem. After you pour the crust mixture in, you're gonna wanna kinda spread it. Now, you'll want to push it up the sides like this. You have enough for the bottom and for it to go about halfway up the side. So all you have to do is kind of push it up like this. You can use a spoon or your hand if you want. And don't worry if it leaves a little divot because we'll just spread out what's left in the bottom. It's rustic, don't even worry about it. It doesn't need to look super pretty. But you'll just spread out the bottom so that you've got an even layer. And if you can't really feel with your hands, with the spoon, because sometimes you can't tell if you have like a really high spot, you can totally just use your hands and then you can kind of tell. And if you push it hard, that happens. But just start back where you were. Okay, we're gonna set that aside. This goes into the freezer while you put together the rest of the ingredients. And that'll just help so that when you pour it in, it doesn't mix into all the crust. So put this in the freezer, and now we'll make the cheesecake mixture. The trick to smooth and creamy cheesecake is room temperature ingredients. Like this is the only time, maybe not the only time, but a time where you can leave it out and let it come to room temperature. So you'll need 2 blocks of cream cheese. This has been sitting out for a bit. Probably should have opened it before, huh? I always think of these things after, but I'm like, Anyway, open these up. 1. So cream cheese in. Oh, that almost got my hand. Stand mixer, hand mixer, up to you. I guess if you really wanted to whisk it, you could, but it's a little difficult to make it super smooth. Room temperature cream cheese, hand mixer, mix that up a little. And then you'll need some sugar, and some vanilla extract. This is homemade. If you want to check out the recipe for that, I'll link it in the card up here or in the description box below. Pour that in. Speaking of the description box, all the recipe instructions and ingredients are in the description box below if you need it, as well as a link to my blog where you can read up all about it for tips and tricks on how to make delicious pumpkin cheesecake in the Instant Pot. Try not to get it all over. Try not to get it all over yourself. Okay, now eggs. The eggs are also room temperature here, and you're gonna wanna add them one at a time. Trick to this, not trick, a little helpful tip. Crack the egg into something else first. Reason I say that is because if you crack the egg and it's a dud egg or there's something yucky, it's not a great egg, and you put it in here, now you just wasted all of this. So better to crack it in here. If it's a yucky egg, you can just toss it and grab another one. One egg goes in first. Just mix that up. And then same thing with the other egg, crack it into the other container. So that goes in, second egg. So the way I like to do this is take about a cup of the cream cheese mix that you just made, and you'll put that into another bowl, and then you're gonna make the pumpkin pie part of that. You don't have to do it like this. I think it's just fun to have the separate layers of it. So about a cup of that, save the spoon because we're gonna dollop it in after. And then you'll need pumpkin pie puree. This is the canned stuff. You totally can make your own if you want. No judgment, totally up to you. So pumpkin in. And then you're gonna want the pumpkin pie spice. This is also the pre-made one. You totally can make your own if you want as well. Add that in. And then all you're gonna do is mix this up. You can use the fork or the hand mixer, up to you. The hand mixer gets it a little bit more smooth. I'll show you what it looks like with the fork compared to the hand mixer. So this is the fork. It's a little more, and also it has pumpkin in it, so that's why it's a little more lumpy. Lumpy is not a great word. Okay, that's the pumpkin mixture. So a couple different ways we can do this. Totally up to you how you like it. What I like to do is either you can put a little bit of the cream cheese mix in first, or you can put pumpkin. I think this time I'm gonna do a little bit of pumpkin first, and you're gonna save like a couple of tablespoons of the pumpkin mix so that you can swirl it on top. Pumpkin mix goes in, you would put the crust in the freezer so that way it sets a little bit, so that when you spread it out, you're not like picking up all the crumbs. I think if anything, it's the sides that we're gonna have to keep an eye on. Hopefully it doesn't crumble down on us. Okay, so pumpkin mix in all except a couple of tablespoons because we're gonna dollop that at the end. Scrape off the excess, and then you're gonna pour all of this over the top of the pumpkin. And then I'll show you how to make the pretty swirls. Scrape out as much as you can, and then you'll kind of just spread it over the top. Because there's a lot, we lucked out and we didn't have to push it along the crust. All right, so we've got pumpkin layer, cheesecake layer. So now we've got a couple of tablespoons left, and all you have to do is like put these little dollops over the top like this. No rhyme or reason to it. You just kind of plop it in, and I'll show you how to make the swirls. If you have a little bit extra. Okay. Like that. Then you're gonna take your magic chopstick or whatever you wanna use, and all you're gonna do is drag it around. Kind of like if you do like a figure 8 motion. If you use less pumpkin, you get a nicer swirl where you can see more of that cheesecake layer. Okay, so that's that. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and cover this with a piece of foil. I'm gonna get my Instant Pot and I'll show you how to put it in. All right, so foil. Some recipes I see for the Instant Pot don't cover it, but I feel like when you put it in the steam and it'll like fall on it, I don't know. So anyway, I put foil, so cover the top of it. I don't know that there's a right or a wrong per se for this particular part of it. And then into the Instant Pot, you're gonna put 2 cups of water and the trivet that came with it, you're gonna put that in. Now, a couple of ways to put it in. I got this little rubber sling, and I'll link it in the description box below if you want to get one. You can also make a foil piece. So you take a piece of foil, fold it, and put it under so it acts like a sling like that. But I don't know, this is cool. I like it. So put it into the sling like that, and then this just has a little clasp that covers it. So like I mentioned, this is a 7-inch. 7-inch like just barely fits on with the trivet. You kind of gotta like maneuver it. Whoa, don't spill it. But you just want it to sit flat. And then you'll put the lid on. That's the Instant Pot sound. Close it, set to sealing, and then you're gonna cook it on manual, high pressure for 30 minutes. You're gonna let it natural pressure release for 20 to 30 minutes. When the pin drops, let out, well, actually. So that beeping just means it's gonna start coming to pressure. Once the pin rises, it'll start the countdown. So this will go and for the 30 minutes and then natural pressure release for 20 to 30 minutes. When it's done, you're gonna take it out, let it cool a little bit, then you're gonna set it in the fridge. Overnight's best to let it really firm up. So I'll be back when it's out of the fridge. All right, now that this has sat overnight in the fridge, we can go ahead and take it out and take a look. Careful, take this out. So the nice thing about the springform pans is they have this little tab here. And all you have to do is open it and it like makes it bigger so that you can slide things out. Because otherwise, if it was like a regular pan, we wouldn't be able to get it out nicely. So, dun, da, 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 it's so pretty. I don't even want to cut it. But why do you make things if you're not gonna enjoy it? So you can either slide it off. Most springform pans have the little plate underneath. You can take it off if you want. You can leave it. I'm just gonna leave it. Yes. If you love pumpkin recipes and you want to try more, then check out this video here. And until next time, ahoy ho!
Thank you for watching my mom